It's a boring afternoon. You're tired after class, and all you want to do is curl up with Netflix and a bowl of cereal. But you really should study, and you know it. It's just that you just don't feel like it at all. Maybe you have a project that's due soon, a paper to write, or a test coming up. Or, maybe, you just know you ought to study a little every day. How do you avoid procrastination and build up the motivation to get started? Well, you've come to the right place. That's what we're talking about today. Of course, there are some long-term steps you could take to make sure this scenario happens less often, like building more self-discipline and better study habit, but what if you need to get started right now? We've got you covered. Follow our 4-step process to get the study motivation you need. Number 1. Take a walk. Funnily enough, this is one of the most effective steps in the process, and it's usually the one that you feel the most resistance to. When there's a bunch of work to be done, it feels counterintuitive to leave it all behind and go outside. So, the question is, why should you? There are 2 big reasons. First, walking is good for your brain. Second, walking creates productive momentum. Moderate exercise, like going for a walk, does a couple of things such as, first, it puts your brain in a prime state to receive and store new information. Second, exercise, specifically exercise outside, is great for your energy and motivation levels. Okay, so science tells us exercise is great for our brains, but there's another really cool thing that going for a walk does which will help kickstart your motivation, that is, it creates momentum. Number 2. Commit to a single task. So, you're back from your walk, and it's time to sit down and do some work. Don't get started just yet. First, pick one thing to focus on. If you pick more than one thing, you're setting yourself up to be distracted. When you're trying to accomplish multiple tasks, you'll be tempted to hop to the next item of your to-do list the moment the first thing gets boring or difficult. It's human nature. Instead, set yourself up for success and pick one thing to focus on at first. Commit to it. Even write it down. Your will must be iron. Like the iron pen referenced by Nicolas Cage in National Treasure. Resolved. When you write a goal down, you're committed to it. You have something to look at that will remind you of your main focus for that day. This makes it a whole lot easier to get that one very important thing done, like writing a research paper or studying for a test. You won't be worried about 3,000 other things. Your brain only has to focus on one task. Be nice to your brain and commit to a single goal before doing anything else. Number 3. Clear to neutral. The very next thing you should do is clear your workspace to neutral. It's hard to focus when your workspace isn't clean. Before you move on, get rid of anything that doesn't relate to the task at hand. Throw your trash away. Give yourself a clear workspace. Close extra browser tabs you aren't going to use. Shut off the internet entirely if you have to. Once that's done, you're ready to begin. Number 4. Use the Pomodoro technique to overcome inertia. Here's a way to beat your resistance to studying every time. Set a timer for 25 minutes, and work on just one task during those 25 minutes. Take a 5-minute break after the timer goes off. Repeat your 25/5 block 4 more times. Take a longer break. Not only does the Pomodoro technique help eliminate resistance, because working for 25 minutes is manageable, it also, over time, can help improve your attention span and focus. You'll be surprised how fast the 25-minute block of time goes, and once you get in a good flow, don't be afraid to ignore the timer and keep going. The whole point of the technique is just to get you started. While you're working, keep a piece of paper next to you. When you think of something, say, you need to email your professor, text a friend, or look up a recipe for sweet rolls, write it down on the piece of paper and go back to work. This helps chase distracting thoughts out of your brain. When you write them down, you alleviate your brain's need to remember them and free up your focus muscles for the task at hand. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe and I will see you in my next video.